What's up, guys? My name is Whisper. And today I am going to talk about my coming out story. Hopefully I won't cry. It's not really a reason to cry, but you never know with cancers and just me, period. Sometimes I'm like a bulldog, other times I'm just like a baby. Okay. So, where should I start? Maybe I should start from the beginning. Like, how did I know that I liked girls? Am I a lesbian? Am I a bi? Am I pansexual? Like, what is it? What are you? All that. Okay. So, I probably first realized that I liked girls. Well, I wouldn't even say I realized I liked girls, but I knew something was different about me because in kindergarten, when it was playtime, we had like these huge like houses that you know the kids like play in nowadays still. And the like the little Tykes car, yellow and red car, we had like those. So it was for me, I liked playing with toys because it was like living out a fantasy, I guess, the type of life. And I like playing house because of the same reason. But in kindergarten, I always never wanted the boys to participate. Like, if it was like a boy and he'd be like, oh, I'll be the dad and blah, blah, blah. I'd be like, no, I'll be the dad. Like, you can go over there and go play with the Legos, or you can go over there and go mess with that girl over there. But I'm going to be the dad. Which brings me to my next question is, like, you say you wanted to be the dad. Does that mean, are you like trans? No. I am not trans. I am not considering being like changing my sex or anything like that. I feel happy like the sex that I was born. So I'm pretty sure that my whole life will be spent as a cisgender female. Here's the thing. I feel like it's always like a little part of you that's always, you're never just like 100% gay, contrary to belief, because if you think about it, we're 100% a lesbian or anything like that. If you think about it, for girls out there that are like lesbians, have you seen guys? You're like, he's pretty cute, right? And same thing for like guys. Guys see girls all the time, like gay guys. They see girls all the time. Like, she cute, blah, blah, blah. So I feel like for us to say that someone is cute, we have to like see something in them that's attractive. We may not be like attracted to what they have going on down there. Maybe even like the testosterone flowing through their body, because sometimes it's overbearing for me to be around a lot of guys. So, but you still have like a sense of attraction. Like, even if you wouldn't do anything with them or anything like that, you still, or sometimes you find guys attractive or cute. Same thing for guys that are gay. They still find girls that are attractive or cute, and they'll admit it. So same goes for me. But as for my sexuality, I would say that I am just a lesbian. I couldn't see myself being like with a guy for my whole life. Maybe for fun. I don't know. I've never like really even, that's a whole nother video. If you guys want me to do a story time about the things that I've done with the guys, then I'll do that, okay? What was the other question? Oh, and then it's just me coming out. So, told you how I figured I liked girls. Well, I didn't even go deep into that. Okay, so that's just kindergarten. But I wouldn't say that I was like really like trying to do anything, because I wasn't like one of those kids that was like focusing on having a significant other. I was like focused on doing my work and all that other stuff. So I would say like my first like real like strong attraction to a female was when I was in the 10th grade. It's probably even before then, because I would see like movies like Love and Basketball, and like Sanaa Lathan was like fine to me. But the first time like I ever had like feelings for like an actual girl was like in the 10th grade, and she was a upperclassman, and I shot my shot, and I won. By the time I was in the 11th grade and she was in the 12th grade, like. And then in the 11th grade, I was like still attracted to the same girl, and then I actually did something about it by that time. 12th grade, she was on and had a boyfriend and all. 12th grade for me. She was on to college and she had a boyfriend and all that, and that was it. I was young. Like, who wanted to be dating somebody that was in college when you had all these people, especially the school I went to, you had all these people here to date. So then there was this one girl, she was like really, really out. Like, she didn't care. She was new to our school and everything. And I'm just like, she cute or whatever. So I shot my shot with her too. But that was after I graduated from high school, and it worked out. And then I didn't come out until I was in my like third relationship, which is the relationship that I'm in now. So I didn't come out until I was 21. And the reason for that is because I was scared. Like, I grew up in a household where up until my dad got sick, we were at church like every Sunday. We were there for every like play, every event that they threw, we were there. Then when he got better, it's like we started going again when I was in middle school. So it's like, when you're in church, you learn. And I won't even know when did I learn that this was wrong. But it's probably early on because wrong, because we always went to church. So I was scared for my life to even like insinuate or anything like that. So instead, with my sister is, when I was born, she was 17. So my sister is, she had a kid, and this was by the time I was in high school, like when I actually like started dating girls and stuff like that. When she had my nephew, and he got a little older, like 2, 3, I'd be asking her like, what would you do if he like turned out to be gay? And she's like, well, he's my son, I'm still gonna love him. And I'm like, well, if she's saying this and we have the same parents, then my parents should feel the same way. But I still didn't feel like doing it. Like, if you're in high school and you're still dependent on your parents and all of that, I would honestly say don't do it unless you've heard them physically say out of their mouths, like, I will love you no matter how much you change or who you are or who you like and stuff like that. Like, if they insinuate to you that they kind of know and that they will love you and they won't be kicking you out and all this stuff, then I would say go with it. And I wouldn't change the fact that I waited until I was 21 to tell my parents, well, my mom, because who knows how she would have reacted when I was a kid. Like, I was still her kid, and she could have did anything. I could have ended up in foster care if anything like that. So anyway, I didn't tell my mom until I was on my third relationship and I was ready to like move in with my girlfriend. And I told her, oh, let me rewind. So I have a niece also from my sister. Like I told you, my sister was 17 when I was born. So 3 years later, she's 20 and she has a kid 3 years after I'm born. So me and her daughter, my niece, we're actually really close. We're more like sisters than me and my sister are because we were 3 years apart. Like, so anyway, I used to have her in on like a lot of things when I'd be like trying to holler at girls and she wouldn't even know it. until I started dating this third girl that is now my girlfriend. And I don't know what made her do it, but the first time I went to go visit my girlfriend in Indiana, I'm from Michigan, but the first time I went to go visit her, she was like posting pictures and everything like that of us together. And I don't know what made my niece do it, but she went and saw all the pictures. So she was like, "You got something you want to tell me?" And blah blah blah. So I'm like, dang, like low key, I just wanted to ride out the relationship a little bit more before I start like confessing to people and stuff like that. So she basically just asked me, "Are you gay?" And I'm thinking in my head like, dang, but I'm not gonna sit here and lie. So I'm like, I am. And she's like, "Well, why didn't you tell me?" Like, so that was like the biggest like weight off my shoulder. Off my chest, because like somebody that you grew up with that's like a sister to you, even though she's younger, her opinion still like matters to me. Because if that bond would have been broken, then, and it turns out like her cousin on her dad's side of the family is a gay male, so it's kind of like, and she used to, every time she's at her dad, she was like with him, so it's kind of like, either way it went, if I would have waited until he came out, or if I would have did it on my own, she would have still been supportive. So this is while I was dating my girlfriend, like the first month of the relationship, obviously, because I went to go visit her, that my niece found out. I would say I didn't tell my mom, because me and my girlfriend started dating in August and talking and whatever, and it was not a whole year, it was close to a year before we decided to move in. It was like a week or two before we decided to move in together. And that's when I told my mom, because I was in college and everything else, and everything would change because I can't go to school here no more. So I'm like, dang, how am I gonna tell her? So me and my niece were trying to like think of ways, because it's the summertime, so she was still in high school, but she was during the summer we would always be around each other, and during the school week and during school we would be together during the weekends. So we were trying to think of different ways to how I could tell my mom and everything like that. So I'm like, well, I gotta tell her because I'm moving. Like, I have all these plans in place to move, and I just can't come up missing one day. So I sent her an email. It was a Friday. That's all I remember. I sent her an email. I said, "Hey, Mom, look, I don't know if you're gonna hate me after I tell you this. I don't know how you're gonna react, period. But I'm gay and I'm moving to Indiana with my girlfriend." So I sent her the email, and when she came home, me and my niece, we were like, oh my God. She came into the room and she didn't like say anything like out of like her normal routine when she would come in there and we were in there together. So I'm like, either she's waiting until my niece leaves, or until I don't know, or she didn't read it. So finally, I'm like, "Did you get an email from me?" This was the next day. I asked her if she got an email from me, and she's like, "No." And she had a company phone, so she was going to pull it out because she could read her emails that way too. And she was going to pull it out and read. And I'm like, no. It was Saturday, and I still had Sunday. She worked Monday through Friday, 9 to 5. I still had to be there all day with her on Saturday and Sunday. So I'm like, okay, don't read it now. Just wait until you get to work. Like, don't worry about it. It's not that big of a deal. Just wait until you get to work on Monday. So she's like, okay. So then by this time on Monday, my niece was still there. She was definitely still there. And my mom read it, and she sent me back an email that morning, and it just said, okay, maybe we should go to dinner or lunch or something and talk about this. So I'm like, okay. So then she comes home and I'm like on pins and needles because strictly all she said was, okay, well, maybe we should go to dinner or lunch and talk about it. But she was still like being normal. She wasn't being mean to me. She wasn't like low key throwing shade at me or anything like that the whole time. But obviously she didn't want to say anything to in front of my niece because, well, some parents don't care. Like, it's their house, they're gonna do what they want to do. But my parents didn't want to embarrass me unless I embarrassed them. That's the type of people that they are. So she waited until my niece went home, which is probably the next day or the day after that. And then we didn't actually go out to dinner or anything. She talked to me about it, and then she's like, I don't know why you thought I was gonna be like mean to you. You can come to me and tell me anything. You can talk to me about anything. Like, I support you. I would never do any of those things that you said to me in that letter and all this other stuff. And at that moment, I was just so grateful that she was my mom, because I know everybody didn't have it as easy as me when it came out to like coming out to your parents and stuff like that. So I didn't tell my dad. I figured that was my mom's job, because she told my sister. Like, once I told her and she was okay with it, I know my mom is a strong woman and she'll have my back no matter what, as long as I don't disrespect her and all this other stuff. So once I told her, I was okay with it. Like, my mom is okay with it, then I'm going to be okay with it. I'm not gonna I don't feel like I have to tell everybody, because this is the main person I was worried about. Like, she is my rock and everything like that. And I'm happy that I told her. I'm happy that it happened in the order that it did, like my niece. But it could have turned out worse, because if my niece was kind of like, ew, get away from me, blah blah blah, then she would have went and told my sister. Like, it could have been like but I'm happy that everything turned out the way that it did. And I wouldn't change that. I wouldn't change my mother. I don't care about anybody else in my family. Like, I shouldn't have to tell anybody else, as long as the person that I've been with the most, because my brother and sister, they both had like the pleasure of being raised by my dad. My dad was sick by the time I was 5, so my memories of him of actually doing stuff with me are like not that much. He's still alive, but he just had major health issues and everything. So yeah, that's how it came out. It turned out good for me. And my advice for anybody that wants to come out, if you feel it in your gut, I don't care that I felt like something bad was going to happen and it turned out to be really good. If you feel it in your gut, then wait until you're on your own, or you can hold your own, or you feel like you don't need your parents, because not everybody will have it as good as I did, especially like coming out in like this was before gay marriage was legal. So like in 2011 is when I came out. So it's anybody that's coming out afterwards, it may be a little easier, because it's tolerated, but it's not accepted with a lot of people. Which they'll tolerate you bringing your girlfriend and all that, but they won't accept the fact that you're with a girl, which is a step forward from where it was just like 6 years ago or something like that. I think that's awesome. But if you feel in your spirit, especially if you're younger, you're not an adult, and you're not holding your own, if you feel like it's going to turn out bad, then don't say anything. Hold your own. If you're getting bullied at school and you're still scared that your parents, if you go to your parents about it because you're gay and that's why you're getting bullied and they may be mean to you, then go to a counselor. That's what they're there for. If it gets out of hand, then you will eventually have to go to your parents and stuff like that. But if you feel bad about doing it, don't do it. And honestly, I would say even if you feel good about doing it, because it could go either way. It could you feel bad about it and it goes good, or you could feel good about it and it goes bad. I say just wait until you're old enough to hold your own and you're not dependent on your parents, or you're in a place where you don't have to depend on your parents anymore before you come out. Because I've heard too many stories of like parents not accepting it and stuff like that, and I just don't want to see anybody in a situation because I said, oh, it turned out good for me, go ahead and come out and all this other stuff. I don't want to see people in that type of situation. So if you want to hear my advice, I say wait until you're at least 18. And if you're 18 without a job and you can't hold your own, don't do it, because you end up in a homeless shelter or something like that. Wait until you can hold your own. Wait until people are dependent on you and you're not dependent on anybody. And that's all I have to say. So yeah, that is how it came out. I came out via email. I'm a millennial, so you know. But anyway, that's all I gotta say today. If you have any suggestions about what you want me to do, then comment them down below. Don't forget to subscribe. And if you're feeling like some type of way, I'll try my best to like give somebody advice about it. But comment down like what your situation is. Ooh, almost dropped the S-bomb there. Just comment down below what like your situation is and all this other stuff. And yeah, that's all I gotta say. Maybe you don't want to say your situation. Then add me on Snapchat. My name is DJ Wizzle on Snapchat as well. It's DJ WHIZZLE. That's my name on there. Add me, send me a message, and I'll try to give you my best advice based off of your situation. But I can't make any promises because I don't know your parents personally. I don't know you personally. I can't. Like, there's no way in the world. Even if you told me everything, I still wouldn't know everything. So yeah, I try my best to help you out. But that's all. And if you're thinking about coming out, just think wisely about it. It turned out good for me, but may not turn out good for you. So yeah, that is it for me, you guys. Oh, that's another thing that I wanted you to do. I'm sorry, this video is going on and on, but I wanted to like do a verse at the end of my video, since this is what this channel is for, like to get me famous, and not just famous for doing YouTube, but I want to like move on to like doing music, rapping, producing, acting, all that. So I was thinking about like doing verses at the end of every video. Sometimes it may relate to what the video is about, and sometimes it just be random based off of a hot track that's out right now. So yeah, that's all for today. Keep your fidget spinning, and I'll see you guys later. Deuces.